This is Al Jazeera.
And live from Studio 14 at Al Jazeera headquarters, I'm Kamal Santamaria. Welcome to the news grid. Syria attacked from the sea, bombed from the sky. It all leaves this kind of devastation on the ground. Government forces are targeting rebels with airstrikes. Russia says it's attacking ISIL with cruise missiles. Imagine what it's like for Syrian people, particularly in Aleppo. If you are affected, you can help us tell that story. Also on the grid, protecting sacred land. Demonstrations are gathering pace across the United States against plans for an oil pipeline in North Dakota. The project's to be built on Native American sites, but we're going to explore how different indigenous communities are using the internet to show solidarity. And a World Internet Conference behind the Great Firewall of China, it's true. And it throws up all sorts of questions about net freedoms and whether online controls are okay or even necessary. Plus, getting past the blocks, from VPNs to geo-blocking and the dark side, we will try to unravel the World Wide Web.
And what do you think? Should governments control the internet? Tell us why or why not on Twitter at AJ English. And as always, you can connect with us with the hashtag AJNewsGrid.
We're going to bring in Leah Harding now, who's our social media producer. First time on the grid for you. Hello, Leah. You're going to be talking a bit more about Jordan for us, where Justin was.
Exactly. Well, Justin mentioned the no man's land. It actually has a name. It's called the Berm. It's literally this 50-kilometer stretch of land. You can see it here if you zoom up just a little bit between Syria and Jordan. So 50 kilometers of just barren earth, of desert, essentially. And that's where about 75,000 people are currently living, literally stuck between two worlds, between where they fled in Syria and trying to escape war and the incessant bombing from their home, trying to get into Jordan, but they've not yet made it there. This is a heat map showing just how many people we're talking about. Satellite images are able to pick up the number of people. Again, I said 75,000. I have this tweet for you from Amnesty International saying the world's failure of refugees at the Berm in Jordan points to the failure of refugees worldwide. That's the fact that there's still refugees, that they're still in no man's land. The millions of refugees that have made the journey out of Syria into other countries, like what is represented here in Jordan, like Amnesty is saying here, they're calling it a failure. I want to show you one more map here after this. Yep. So this is taken in December 2015. This is the desert we're talking about. So less than a year ago, just 11 months ago. But if you slide this little grid here over, this is what it looks like today. So look at how the encampment has just taken over the whole desert here, the Berm in between these two countries. A totally different world, but the reality for so many Syrian refugees, like this boy on Twitter here that I pulled up for you, living in Azraq camp, a camp nearby, with a little piece of styrofoam there as a kite to keep him busy among these homes. Many of them look very much the same. So, Kamal, it's a very sad journey for a lot of these refugees, but of course, we're following that story.
Okay, at Leah Harding AJE, if you want to get in touch with Leah, if you've got any thoughts, you've got any pictures or anything that you can send to her, please do with the hashtag AJNewsGrid. And great informative stuff there from Michael Jablonski, the co-author of The Real Cyber War. Great to talk to you. Thank you. Leah Harding, who couldn't do her job without the internet, quite frankly. We wouldn't have you as a social media producer.
I wouldn't be here.
And you couldn't hear what people are saying. Well, I had some Facebook questions there. You've got the Twitter poll.
I do have the Twitter poll. We've had great responses so far. More than 2,000 of you have given us your opinions. Here's some of my favorite. We asked you, should governments control the internet? Why or why not? 64% of you say no. 26% say only in some cases. Again, keep those responses coming. Great responses like this one from Rachel. She says it's difficult to say because it's so open to manipulation. Perhaps an independent, nonpartisan body should run it. Interesting perspective there. Do you agree with her? Let us know. We'd love to engage with you on that different angle there. We have another poll, not ours, but out of China, a Chinese media agency running this one. As the Third World Internet Conference commences, how would you grade the safety degree of the cyberspace? A bit ironic here. People here are saying it's full of risks. So pretty funny there. Someone at the conference that we're following, Emily, she's a reporter with a US-based agency. She's saying this China Internet Conference is at a tightly controlled, custom-built venue separated from the real world by a moat. I have a picture of that for you. This is an actual picture I'm trying to bring up here for you of the venue. If you zoom in, it's literally surrounded by water. The venue is in a moat, perhaps a metaphor really of China essentially blocking themselves off from a lot of the conversation that's going on in the rest of the world. We're following a report that North Korea asked China to stop calling their supreme leader Kim Jong-un overweight. There's a search ban on Baidu right now, which is a major search engine out of China, similar to Google. And if you search Jin Pang, which means direct translation, Kim Fatty the Third, nothing shows up. So you have a ban there, something North Korea asked that China has come through with.
Leah, Michael mentioned in our interview that he talked about the Google searches and how when he types something into Google, it's, Google almost decides what he wants to see. Does it go beyond that? Are we talking other websites, apps, iPads, phones, all this sort of stuff?
Yes, there's definitely a very broad range. If you scroll up here on this map here that I have, there is a list of different social media sites like Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, YouTube, Telegram, that's also common in China, Skype, and even Instagram. It's here at the bottom of this page, done by freedomhouse.org, an organization that's trying to track media usage. This graph here showing Facebook as having being the platform where more people get arrested. This was following 27 countries. So 27 people have been arrested for using Facebook across the countries that were monitored. WhatsApp, of course, that one's now encrypted, but also a reason a lot of people are being arrested. We would love to hear from you about this story. We have that Twitter poll that I showed you earlier running up at AJ English right there. Comment with hashtag AJ Newsgrid, or you can write me directly at Leah Harding AJE. Come on.
Thank you, Leah.